Hey folks, what's up? We are live, and I'm here with a very special guest, actually, Josh Hadley. He's actually actually let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, DJL7, all the viewers. I'm Joshua Hadley. I'm from Kotzebue, Alaska, and here I'm on the Kotzebue City Council. I was just elected in October. I'm also, uh, a few months later, I also was nominated and elected to the position of treasurer of the Green Party of Alaska, and another position that I sort of just made up myself was right now I'm the president of the Kotzebue Chess Club. A lot going on.
Okay. You actually serve on your city council. Is that as a green? Did you run as a green?
So in Alaska, the municipal elections, the city elections are nonpartisan. So my party affiliation on the ballot is not listed. So it was just my name. So I didn't run as a Green, but I am a Green Party member, but that wasn't made clear to the voters.
Okay. How long have you been a green?
Um, when I registered to vote in 2008, I did pick green. I did for in 2016 I did switch to Democrat to vote for Bernie, and that's really when I got really involved in politics. We all know what happened. He got screwed over, so but by the end of 2016, I switched back to green, and though I didn't really get involved in the party until 2020, but I've been registered as a green. I've been active in the party until just a few years ago, though.
Okay. What's your it's good to know that now the thing is that you joined the Greens back in the 2000s. I guess we were going to meetings and stuff like that, which is cool. You actually elevated to be treasurer. I've been a Green since the 90s, just so you know. And the thing is that there were certain decentralized things put into the Green Party organizational thing from the very beginning that was meant to protect from overreach by nationals, which I think is going on right now. Now, right now, Green Party Alaska, if you go to the National Greens website, you see that they say Green Party Alaska is derecognized, and you see that they say that they're pushing something called Aurora Party. Now, the Aurora Party, you can't see any personnel. You can't see they have a treasurer. You can't see their, to this date, I still have not seen any particular person. I believe it's consultant based. Tell me a little bit about what happened between Green Party Alaska and Green Party Nationals.
So like I said, I got involved in 2020, and I was giving money to Howie Hawkins' campaign, who was eventually the nominated to be the Green Party's presidential nominee. Um, and there was an issue with our votes. If you look on Wikipedia, and it's sourced, so you shouldn't believe everything you read on there. But you can check these sources. The Green Party of Alaska's votes in the convention for the presidential nominee wasn't recognized, and this was a issue for so to get on the ballot in Alaska, you need paperwork and electors to sign off and say, yeah, we're going to be electors, we're the party officials and whatnot. And the chairman, Robert Shields, was having an issue with the Hawkins campaign. They didn't want to call him or talk to him for whatever reason. And I was talking to him. I was trying to get Hawkins onto the ballot. I was someone who gave money to the party. I was attending meetings for Green Party National as well. I was in talks with their treasurer, and I was trying to get the two sides talking. And
Now,
unfortunately, what happened ultimately was the Hawkins campaign to try and get onto the ballot went against the law and say, oh, we're gonna bypass everyone who needs to have a signature on this paper to say, oh yeah, you're gonna be on the ballot, and they just threw my name on there without my consent. Thankfully, the Division of Elections said, this is nonsense, and I was very upset by that. And talking to the um, Howie Hawkins treasurer down in Texas, I was trying to work with these people and trying to get both sides together. They threatened to sue me. So, but at that point, I was done with the Hawkins campaign, and of course, we went with Jesse Ventura, and understandably, you know, because we didn't go with the Green Party nationals candidate, they discredited. I mean, they threw us out as a affiliate of theirs in the state, and instead now we have this Aurora Party, which is just a party to, if they need someone to run for president, like they get to do that, but it's not really a active party. Say like the like the state's Republican Party or the state's Democratic Party, or this the Green Party of Alaska. Like, I mean, it's just sort of a thing there to say, like I said, when they have a presidential candidate, they can get on the ballot.
Okay, this is extremely troubling because the fact of the matter is that Green Party National is overriding elected people, right? People that have been elected, people that have been having meetings for the Green Party Alaska for a long period of time, people that have been so involved that people like yourself are actually elected to city council, right?
Yeah.
Positions of responsibility, elected positions within the general electorate that have significant sway and, that are committed. And Green Party, right? Once again, I'd like to see someone from the Aurora Party step up. Right now, they're faceless. All quotations come from the Aurora Party. They have no figurehead. They have no one really leading clearly. I can't wait to see who that person is and their background and what they've accomplished and their history of working with the Green Party. It smells very consulty. They're going to find someone who seems legitimate. Now, there's someone named Jira Brown. I don't know if you know who the person is. They say they're actually in Howie Hawkins chat every Saturday afternoon, which is
I don't remember the name.
Oh, you do?
I don't remember that name.
I don't. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the thing is that also, did you see the email that I sent recently to Gloria Matera?
I think I missed it.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah. The thing is that once again, there are elected leaders all around the country that are Green Party. Alaska is not the only one. There's been other issues about nationals, and actually not just this election cycle, previous election cycles where people have been reporting issues going on within the Green Party. Unfortunately, Jill Stein does not really have to answer to these questions because the media is not really asking her, because there's a aristocracy of media and organizational leaders that work to prevent discussion on these topics. This happens in all the parties. So it's thanks for putting this information out. I'm quite interested now. Let's talk about a little bit. I know before we talked, this session came on. If there's something that you want to say to nationals right now, right? Jira Brown, I guess, is watching right now. Howie Hawkins may watch this. What would you? Actually, myself, I'm looking for a sit down as well, right? Once again, I sent an email to Gloria Matera. I CC'd a lot of people from Greens all over the country to say, let's have a discussion. And after that, she just stopped communicating. This is all documented. But if you got to say something to them, what would you say to them?
I'd say the same thing I wrote in my article a month or two ago, I believe. I think it was last month. They're being divided like this is not helping at all. The Green Party, as we know, already has it's such a small base of voters. It's a small group, and when we're divided like this, it's very harmful to the party. It's not like a break that it is helpful to them. I mean, often when you talk to people on the streets, well, at least here, they don't like third parties because they sort of just see them as, well, they're here for the presidential election, and they're gone the rest of the time. And I mean, as far as I can see, that is the Aurora Party. So they're playing into what people's biggest criticisms of third parties, and it is just a fundraising ploy for them. And I'm sorry, I don't know how to. You know, if we want to succeed and push green ideas, we have to work together. We may disagree, but if you can't work with people you disagree with, then maybe you ought to find something else to do.
Yeah,
That's my
actually,
that.
one thing you guys are working on right now, you have a show going on right now. I'm actually subscribed to that on Green Party Alaska. Tell me about hopefully you guys subscribe, and check out the show. I think that they're producing it right now. Tell me a little bit about that.
We're doing a show called Green for Life. It's being uploaded to the right now. It's only on the Green Party of Alaska YouTube page. Or I'm gonna look into right now. I'm looking into Spotify. Well, ways to upload on the Spotify. It's not easy as a YouTuber. Oh, I have a Spotify account, or I can just upload it on there. You need a RSS feed and whatnot. But I've been investigating that. But and we're talking about some other platforms like SoundCloud and whatnot. But anyway, I'm getting off into the stuff that's not important. But yeah. So the show, it's the whole idea is we're discussing what it means to be green. We're having guests on there, and the whole idea is we're talking about we're talking to people who are doing things like even outside politics. Today we had Daniel Tweed on there, who a big thing that the Green Party of Alaska pushes is permaculture. In what he's doing in California is working on trails for people to go out and experience nature. So not everything we're talking about is political, but act. But we are this. What we want to push is like you can do something. It might not always be political. In fact, some people they don't want to be involved in politics. Look at all the nasty things that there's there's cool things that you can do to help the world that's outside politics. But yeah, the main idea is we're pushing what it means to be green. And
Appreciate that. I do actually have actually allies all around the country that are actually involved in permaculture projects, and I do think that unfortunately permaculture, because it doesn't market so many consumable items, right? It's just hard to find advertising for this particular framework because people want to sell like vitamins or crypto or some other high margin items that they can actually pull the rug out or scam people. Now,
yeah,
I'm sorry to say, but this is just a real, self-sufficient. You might buy some startup kit, but actually in the end, you're really producing your own seeds. You're self-sufficient. So I like that. Yeah. Now the thing is that
absolutely.
I want to shout out Jira Brown. Thank you for watching today. Now she did mention some other names like Frankie Lee, Best Godon, and the thing is that these names do sound familiar, but I'm sorry to say that there's been a blackball from the media that's been ongoing on my channel and on many other people that are actually achieving change. So unfortunately, Frankie Lee and Best Golden is not someone that I've gotten to interact with. Also, that she mentioned Zainab Day. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I just want to ask you, Josh, have you ever interacted with Best Godon, Frankie Lee, or Zainab Day?
No, I've never heard those names, but I will speak to blackballing. The reason I haven't quite been blackballed yet, but I realize it's quite a possibility when you stand up to power. That's why when I talk to people and I say, "Oh, well, I'm a green," and they say, "Well, the best thing we could do to change this country is elect all greens." And unfortunately, the biggest issue with our system is we have to take is money, and we're not going to really change anything until we take money out of politics. I mean, we could elect all greens, but the issue is like even me, you and I, if we say we're elected to the Senate or something, the system as is to play the game. You have to accept money from these lobbyists. You have to accept money from these people pushing their agendas. And I mean, how else are you going to win a campaign? And we could structure our laws to say, you're not going to do that. We're just the thing is because they're putting money there, they're making sure that the laws don't change.
Okay. Now in the chat right there, someone did mention actually Bess and Zainab Day say I won't listen. Now I do want to address that. Now the fact of the matter is that Zainab Day, okay, the thing is that I've worked in the People's Party, I've worked with the Greens, I have documentation of this, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, right? Right now, the third party independent space is under unique attack from the establishment in order to establish control over this particular territory. And they know that most Americans are not happy with the duopoly. Now, here's one of the big, I'm going to report Zainab Day on this, not saying she's all bad, but she's definitely not all good. Zainab Day, right, she offered me a chance to be covered, but she said that I had to leave behind elected leaders. Once again, I want you to pay attention if you're watching this right now. Notice that Green Party Alaska has a history of elected leadership, and they have a community that they've built up. But they're being canceled right now and being replaced by, paid consultants, things like that. Remember, Zainab Day was never elected to anything in the People's Party. She was a paid consultant and Nick Brown, his girlfriend, right? There was a lot of money that went missing. Now, in the whole discussion of the People's Party and what went wrong there, notice that we do not talk to any real elected leaders, including Mark Mixon, including Keith Frank, or people that have been former leaders like myself. And I want people to understand that, right? Zainab Day said, I would be allowed up, but I have to leave those other people behind, elected leaders. No, that's not what this is about, right? Yeah, I'm not going to take that deal. So I remain on the sidelines. And if I'm not listening, it's because I won't take the deal. I say, you know what? I'm going to continue to bring Mark Mixon with me because he was elected in Washington State and is bringing to light certain things that Zainab Day is not. So if I don't listen, right, what am I not listening to? No, I'm not obeying, right? Yeah. And the fundraising grift and the $20,000 to $30,000 that went missing, which has been documented on my channel, notice that her outlets are not talking about this or Josh's work right now. The organization and leaders and the media working together. And that's why you have to make more of your connections directly to the groups that are actually on the ground doing the work and stop paying attention to these media pundits. I could name some right now, like Revolutionary Blackout, like Status Quo, that are only covering issues, right? And I'm not saying all the work they do is bad, but notice that certain elements are missing. And a part of the truth is a lie. It's just what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, like, it's like corporate media. You watch them; they don't really cover important issues. In fact, they waste a lot of their time. Back when I did watch MSNBC or CNN, like they'd waste their time and talk about the same things every show. Uh, I finally I got out of watching these channels for hours when I saw that all they would cover was Donald Trump, and I was watching MSNBC, and they were just shooting a podium of his empty podium, waiting for him to walk on because he is a ratings draw, and they've been suffering without him. And I was so upset by that. Like I said, I'm tired of that, so I did finally switch off, but for a long time I was stuck in that, like, oh, what's going on this channel? But yeah, it's, watching that stuff, like, it'll rot your brain.
Okay, interesting. In the chat, we say that I was talking about Zainab Day being sexually assaulted by Nick Brown. I'm sorry, but that culture was, forming over MPP. MPP is Brana Branch Banking, says Green Wicket. And, just so you know, that's actually what's going on. The thing is that the consultants and the organizational leaders control the mailing list. They control the access to the party emails and things like that. And they actually have control with the celebrities that you see that are out there promoting these channels and making appearances. And they're being paid, right? Actually, Supreme, an associate producer from Wu-Tang, called out the bullshit that was going on with these organizational leaders. So once again, system-wide, and this is happening to the Libertarians, this is happening to the Greens, Republicans, Democrats, right? They are actually mowing over grassroots leaders. So one thing I want to actually mention was, and one way that you can tell the difference is that Josh is working on some local issues right now. Just before we talk about a fee schedule change, no, I want you to watch these other media, pundits that you watch right now and ask them, what are they working on right now? So why don't you tell me about this fee schedule change thing that you're working on right now within City Council?
So last year, the before I joined the city council back in August, that was before the election even, the city council decided, all right, we're going to raise the prices on everything. And thankfully, the person I replaced on city council came on, and well, I don't know why he didn't bring this up before, but it's better to be right and late to the party than never be right. We got to appreciate when people make the right position. He came on and said, well, what about this ordinance, what about that ordinance? It says you can't change this unless this is you specifically go for this. And I believe right, the biggest problem with government is its inability to maintain the public trust. I said, I'm not against raising prices on things, but it ought to be itemized. Yeah, ought to make the argument for it. And like for example, why are we raising the price on getting a dog permit? Is it going into more money for the dog catcher, or is it just going into the general fund? Like that ought to be asked and answered. So because right now the ordinances say you have to be specific, we did raise the prices on some things, and I did vote for that. They did a utility uh, I forget utility. Well, they did a study and said, all right, we do have to raise the prices on some things, and they did a study, and I understand, but like that study, as far as I know, didn't cover like why are we? So I mean, I live in rural
If I could just
Alaska. It's very different.
yeah. What you said right there was amazing, and I want to actually try to start a similar project here in New York City. Now, the thing is that we could coordinate. So what you said right there was, when they raise the fee for a certain thing, is that going to actually pay the staff for, we know that inflation is happening, right? Yeah. If they're going to justify it like that, then it better go towards actually paying the staff, right? Yeah, who's actually doing the work versus the general fund. I think that's a very intelligent. I actually try to address that with the federal monitor here regarding NYCHA and how contractors are paid. So I will actually try to mirror that effort. Just so we have other things going on, such as in criminal justice reform. We're actually trying to have a national coalition to work together to increase the power of civilian review boards and to prevent political and organizational appointees from overtaking the civilian review boards, and also to have a wrongful compensation law to actually help people that have been wrongfully incarcerated get compensation. So there's other national. We could also, just so you know, one thing that I'm very excited about is here in New York. I've also been trying to get the city itself, city council, to all say that they support the freedom of Assange. So if you could get city council to have a vote on that city supporting Assange, that would be another powerful way that we could utilize democracy to try to address real issues. Now, unfortunately, none of these projects are covered, and I'm going to take a look again at Jera Brown. Zainab Day can come on this show. I invite her on. I invite her on to Josh Hadley's show. I invite her to promote. You will see that not happen. I don't. Okay, so reading this latest post, I don't buy the TYTs. That's the Young Turks or doorknobs, like Revolutionary Blackout Network. Now BPM. I don't know who BPM is. Really independent and pretty good. My friend Renee Johnson is on there every Saturday morning. Okay, so once again, Renee Johnson could have us on the show. I'm doing real work out here. Notice that only Renee Johnston and Zainab Day are talking about the overthrow in the People's Party, and they are actually deleting other elected leaders. Right? Yeah. They're deleting myself for years now. I invite her on my show. She refuses to engage. That's their choice. They're trying to monopolize the movement, right, and deny other generations of previous leaders, including elected leaders. So Jared Brown, we don't have to be the enemy, but once again, right, they're either working with us or they're not. They're invited on my show. I interact multiple times. You could work with both of us, yeah? Don't cut me out on their behalf, okay? Just sorry to throw that in. Okay. So there are also local things that we're working on too, and I'm excited to work in concert with Alaska. Even if the press doesn't cover it, we will actually get this change. We're working to make this change happen. Okay, so let's talk about one thing that's also been going on is there's actually I don't know if you've attended any of the meetings, but there's something called Green Rights Sovereign Movement. I think Robert has been attending some of them, right? And
Yeah, I know he's involved with that. I'm not quite sure what it is.
there's a coalition of other green organizations around the nation that are also struggling with this control. I think that right now the Green Party the leadership is trying to just insert Jill Stein. Remember that Jill Stein and also Cornel West were working with Peter Dow and other weird things, right? That's because they're part of the elites now. They're part of the insiders club. And once again, they are ignoring elected leaders, and this is happening system wide. So there's an independent summit coming up in Colorado with third-party leaders that they're installing into the system to replace actual grassroots activists. And they're teaming up. We're teaming up too. So look forward to hitting one person that I'm excited to be working with. Did I send you some information about Susan Busher-Lachaki?
I don't remember.
She's running for president. She's actually from West Virginia on the Green Party. She's trying to qualify in the Green Party line. I will put a link to her forum. There's other people that are associated with the Green Renaissance Sovereign Movement that are presidential candidates like Dario Hunter. And I forgot there's other names too that are associated that are actually trying to get coverage of their issues and bring it to the table. But once again, the media and the party leadership is trying to really mow that over. One thing that I want to ask you that's interesting, though, is why is Aurora Party pushing Cornel West instead of Jill Stein? What do you think that is? That's a little bit weird to me. You get what
I
I'm
think
saying?
yeah, it is very strange, and we were asking about that in our own parties. Like, we got kicked out of the Green Party because we went with we went against what the National Party who they nominated, and here they are. They're going for their own candidate without the primary even ending. What I believe I'll answer your question first. What I think is it's a marketing ploy to put a face on there that someone's that's sort of popular. I know I've seen Cornel West talk on Real Time with Bill Maher back when I watched the show. So he's someone that's known in the political world. He's someone that they can market and sell to people. And hey, you want this guy on the ballot here? Sign your name. But from what I understand is he's not actually on the ballot. It's the Aurora Party will be has the right to choose any candidate they want. So the Aurora Party is on there, and they could very well change to Jill Stein or whoever wins the Green Party nomination. So I feel like if and when that happens, a lot of people are going to be very confused and upset about that. It really goes to show how their campaigning and process is such a mess. They should have been open with like, all right, we're uh, we're the Green Party's affiliate. Go for us. But I feel like that wouldn't have got as many people as excited. So they did what it. I feel like a lot of people, if this happens, are gonna be upset. You know.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. The fact of the matter is that it shows also what like kind of disrespect for the voters, right? The party leadership's going to
Yeah.
make their own choice, and the people will just be told what who their person is. Something could pop out later where Cornel West is unviable for some reason, and they might pull a switcheroo. It should be the people's choice, not the party leadership's choice, right? So,
Yeah. I
powerful
mean,
words.
I got a hold of some of their some of the letters they sent to people. It's his face on like their drive to get signatures. I mean, they they if this is what they do, they've essentially used him and his supporters. I mean, it really shows what a mess the Green Party National is. I mean, and they're absolutely willing to take advantage of people to get their ends, and that's why I had I tried to keep us affiliated with them, but eventually I couldn't take them anymore.
You know, It's the same thing that happened to the Democrats. It's the same thing that happened to the Republicans. The leadership got themselves out of touch, and the things that were put in place, the decentralization of the Green Party, the way it was set up originally, was meant to protect from this exact scenario. So right now, we've really reached that time where things are really urgent. Jared Brown, Zane and Renee, they're welcome to come on my show and get on, CC me in the email, right? Yeah, and watch me. I've documented a lot of reaching out to PSL, reaching out to Cornell West, reaching out to a lot of these different celebrities for help, and they're letting us down. Just so you know, I have a powerful team. One of the first men freed on DNA evidence, no, the first man freed on DNA evidence in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania history, named Vincent Moto. Their team in Pennsylvania, including a guy with a direct tie to Nubu Jamal is.
I heard that name. I don't remember who it is
Okay,
though.
he's like one of the first well-known political prisoners in the United States. He's from Black Panther.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
actually,
right.
yeah, we're trying. There's a guy with a direct tie to him who was actually over, I believe, 40 years wrongfully incarcerated. So I got people in North Carolina, another key swing state, Wisconsin. We're making some new relationships. So I'm excited to work with Alaska right now. And you know, once again, the media is actually Black Power Media. I hope that Black Power Media, Jared Brown, thanks for coming by. I hope they pick up this story. I hope that they actually. I can't wait to work with them as partners, but unfortunately, they've been working in a monopolistic way to really control all the access. And you know, I'm not saying that's fair for them to do what they want to on their own power thing, but the fact of the matter is that when they're ready to be allies and they're ready to be partners, then you know, then they could step on up. So I'm waiting. Yeah. All right. So
Hey, and if I could step in and say something, you know, I forgot something you mentioned is you know, well, a reason another reason that I'm a green is, you know, I'm a big environmentalist, and a big reason for that is, you know, I am Inuit, Inupac. We're very, you know, we did come in from Asia, and we stayed in Alaska, unlike the you know, all the other Native Americans who, you know, went down to into Canada, the lower United States, South America, and we're a lot more you know, our DNA is a lot more Asian than you know, them. You know, we're a lot closer to Asians, and you know, a lot of our culture around revolves around, you know, the ice here. We're seeing, and you know, we're seeing the impacts of you know, climate devastation, where it's getting harder for people to hunt. It's getting harder for our animals that we feed on, like you know, uh, our local villages, they depend on the caribou herds, and they've been dwindling. You know, it's been very hard for us, and you know, our culture is, you know, it's been under attack. You know, it's not just you know, our language, our you know, our, you know, our way of life is under threat. Um, you know, I probably, I know I don't, I haven't had the same experience as you, because here, you know, we make up the majority of people. You know, 69% of people are Inuit here in Kotzebue. Though I didn't really experience too much racism until I went down to the lower 48, and you know, that was to work some mining jobs, and that was, you know, that was really different for me. Absolutely different experience than what I'm used to. But you know, that's another reason that I'm green is, you know, we're culturally tied to, you know, the climate around here.
it is outrageous to me that Green Nationals is actually overriding, right, an indigenous person, right? Yeah, actually an
Yeah,
elected leader within his own community, right? Yeah, in order to promote their own control and monopolization of the money, the resources that are coming in to support the Green Party will be used to support their chosen candidate in order to erect a fake party called the Aurora Party. Once again, prove to me they're not fake. Show me a picture of anybody from the organization. Show me a meeting. They have a Facebook group? They just came out of nowhere. Yeah.
yeah.
Show me what their people are accomplishing. Show me they can't do that. And this is so fake. And Cornel West knows about this, and he's covering up. I'm going to tell you right now. I've been in
Yeah,
contact with that document to all of this.
yeah, they got the money. That's why they can do this. This is unfortunately they don't got the people.
Yeah. All right. So that's that's pretty good, man. All right. So how can people follow your work, and how can I know you mentioned Green Party Alaska? Do you have any personal social media that you post up on?
Um, I'm not very active on social media. It's just I don't have the bandwidth, but I do post. If people want to get a hold of me, it's better by to email me. I am getting better about looking through those. I do have to do a better job, but yeah, I believe that's everyone with everything. So if the
What's your
easiest way is
email?
just to
I
go
don't
to
know if you
my
want to put that
yeah.
out there, but do you want to put out your email?
Well, you can find it. I mean, it's listed on the city of Kotzebe's website. So it is a public email, and it's also listed at my website www.joshuajhadley.com. If anyone wants to find me, well, see what I'm about.
Cool. Yeah. Definitely do some more work as in terms of organizing with people like yourself. And I'm really excited to meet you. Thank you so much for your testimony today regarding what's going on in the Green Party. I look forward to you know doing more work really soon. There's actually I don't know if you saw did you get my email about the United Platform for 24 project? But we're gonna have a
I did see
series of
that. Yeah,
we're gonna have a series of panel discussions. I'd love for you to to host a panel discussion on you could talk about indigenous rights or environmental issues about right how that's affecting and invite candidates from all over the nation to participate. Hopefully they do. Um, a lot of them are really just trying to utilize the celebrities to jack their own numbers. But if they're serious about change, and you could see from a previous projects how many candidates actually stuck around and continue to work on the issues other than their own campaigns, then you could see who's dedicated to really actually, making change happen versus having a title. Yeah.
absolutely. You know, I'm not sure if we're ending, but I guess something I wanted to say is, people, I feel like they get government wrong. I've learned a lot just in the few months being a new government official. People talk about like, what's the right of the state or, this or that. I feel like what people fail to understand is government has a responsibility to people. You, you know, y- you know we're not you know unfortunately what's happening a lot right now is people get in and they're looking to make money and they're not looking at what can I do to help improve these communities, what can I do to like make life better to people, or at least like open up opportunities for people. People get into government unfortunately because of the system we have is, well, how much money can I make doing this? It's terrible.
You know, I want to actually plug something that I'm working on right now. And I understand what you're talking about, and it's a real problem as in terms of the money coming in, but I get why it happens. Because the thing
Yeah.
is that, right, unfortunately, the money works. And a lot of times, right, people are not, right, because the media collusion, they're not being told about the reality of what's going on. So the person who can throw the biggest event and hire the biggest celebrities is actually getting the message out. And the thing is that we need to actually have more engagement on the ground with people that are actually involved. So the thing is that there's a national strategy and a local strategy that can be implemented. And on a local level, on a national level, yeah, I'm green all the way. But on a local level, the Democrats control what's going on here. And the thing is that I'm entering their party in order to control something called county committee. County committee actually controls judge selection, and they also control right how things go as in terms of ballot time. Right, they're actually responsible for actually holding the election and making the rules and deciding what names in which order. So if you want electoral reform, if you want criminal justice reform, you got to be able to have some impact on the judge selection. So that's another thing that we're working on down here. And the thing is that in order to get together with other activists that are not fly by nights, right? Yeah, here for one thing, or a kid who's exploitable for their labor, right? To build your membership list and then you get rid of them. If you really want to connect with other dedicated actors who are impacting the electoral system or just change in general, county committee is the place to find them. So we've made the voter list open to the public, and we can work once again on our city and your city of where's your city? What's the name of the city in Alaska again?
It's Kotzebue, Alaska. We're on the
Kotzebue.
Alaska's west. Yeah, Kotzebue. It's on Alaska's west coast, a little like about 100 miles north of Nome.
Yeah, so New York City, Kotzebue, maybe Los Angeles, maybe Chicago, we could all pass local ordinance saying we support the freedom of Assange, we're right supporting less commercialization of our structures, and actually right looking out for workers when you raise the fee rates, right? Yeah, we could say
Mm.
nationwide we're working coordinated to get this issue addressed, even if the national media and even if the politicians, right, the one that you know about, won't talk about it, we'll drive it ourselves from the ground. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I love it.
can I say something on Assange real quick?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Um, yeah. People need to understand that you know get like making sure Assange has his rights is making sure that we protect the First Amendment rights. People don't understand the Constitution. It's it's the rules that that the federal government have to obey, and if you read it, often what deals with the citizenry themselves will specifically say citizens of the United States. Assange, he's a media person, and the the First Amendment doesn't say, well, any U.S. citizen has the right to say. No, it's very open to any media person. Like, the United States government has to respect everyone's right of free speech rights. It's not just Americans. They shouldn't be going after anyone like that.
Okay. I want to shout out Jira Brown for watching. She asked, "What's your Twitter?"
I don't have a specific Twitter. I just been doing Twitter for the Kotzebue Chess Club.
Okay. Also, just so you know, she also encouraged you. She said she's part of the Howie Hawkins group and chat and stuff like that. She encouraged you to book an appearance on his show. By the way, Jira Brown, I would also ask you to try to get myself on Howie Hawkins' show. Right? Yeah, I'm also pretty relevant. But yeah, absolutely, Josh. Hopefully we can set that up. Um, and I would actually encourage you to document, right? Like, I don't know if you see my live streams when I'm contacting PSL leadership or contacting National Action Network, but live stream when you actually email Howie so everybody can see that you actually did this, because they'll pretend like they never got it or they'll pretend like it never happened, and I've learned to shoot that all down. So thank you, Jared Brown, for watching. I do actually, just so you know, I was about to go to the gym and work out, so I'm all caffeinated up right now. But
Yeah,
is that
I do
I
got
do
work.
want to follow up with you. Yeah,
I
is
do
there
got
anything else
working a
you want
bit.
to mention? Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, if anyone wants to find out what I'm doing, what I'm up to, www.joshuajhadley.com. And if anyone from Kotzebue is watching, we have a public hearing on the fee schedule, and you know, I'd really, I'd really like to see people come up and talk about the issue. I mean, for or against. Like, I would like the public's opinion on this. It's at City Hall, 5:15, February 1st. Yeah, and or if you can't come in, all over town, it's posted what the call-in number is and how to do it.
I love that fee schedule issue. I'm gonna definitely roll that out to my mailing list. Also, is there any snap? There's so many exciting things coming up, right? The work with Susan Bashalachaki. So I'm definitely gonna be bringing you back on the show as things develop. But I definitely want to go out and handle some of the other things that I'm doing today. But thank you so much for coming on the show. You left a lot of good testimony about what's going on with nationals. I think the world needs to know, and the world is not
Yeah,
being told this stuff.
thanks for having me on, DJ.
Yeah, thank you again. Yeah, God bless. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna end the stream here. Jera Brown says she's for Claudia De La Cruz. Unfortunately, Claudia De La Cruz, I'm sorry to say, is also part of the Myria aristocracy. I've been bringing up these issues to her. Look at my channel, look up PSL. You can see me emailing them, asking for meetings, asking for help with the wrongfully incarcerated, one of the longest in New York State history. They have ignored these issues many times. I'm not saying that Claudia De La Cruz is all bad. They talk a good talk. But as in terms of walking the walk and working in partnership with people like myself on the ground, it's been documented. It's been documented that they are shutting down people like myself. This is happening in all the parties: PSL, Green Party, Libertarians, Republicans, Democrats. All the parties have this top down. They're working coalition now with Peter Dow, things like that. Claudia De Cruz looks clean. I'm telling you right now, Medea Benjamin, the ties and stuff. I can point all those things out. So, Jared Brown, once again, even myself will not have all the same priorities or positions as you. You need to empower yourself. That's why we have Rep My Block to help people like yourself run for office. We need to have more people engaged. We need to have more people knowledgeable, politically knowledgeable about what's going on, so they don't get hoodwinked and buy into some commercial solution supported by a celebrity. They're getting involved in some FTX scam type of stuff. And I'm sorry, Claudia. Once again, you get to be a part of the conversation. I'm not going to cancel you, but you don't get to replace us. So Claudia, right? No, I'm part of PSL too, but the leadership will never acknowledge me, right? Yeah, because of certain things that I'm calling out, and because for certain and elected leaders, I'm not for. I like PSL a lot of things they say, and once again, the leadership, the membership, I'm in solidarity with a lot of their beliefs and their purposes, but they need to really look at my body of work and ask themselves why I'm blackballed by the leadership. And they need to address not just myself, but many others. People who are going too far, as in terms of pushing Assange stuff, right? Yeah, are actually. You think all this Assange activism that you see out here is just what is not being interfered with? It absolutely is. I have the documentation on my channel. People that go too far and actually achieving actual change are actually canceled. By the way, Josh, talking about, once again, to bring up the Assange thing, can you actually introduce a resolution for your city to support Assange? Do you think that could be put on the list?
I I could push that, but I don't think it would go anywhere.
Just bring
These
it up for a vote.
I
Just
don't.
bring it up for a vote. That's all.
I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened. So, uh, someone like if you're anyone's listening to the thing, Johnson Green will say, "Oh, this is too controversial. We don't have really anything to say about this. Why don't we just not say like that? That will happen, And other people will agree. So I just don't have the numbers to do that right now. I I need to
Throw
make
it up. Let's
more
see.
allies.
Let's see. You don't know until you do it, right? Maybe you're right. Yeah, I think you're probably right. You're on the scene. You know what's going on. But just introduce the resolution, right? Yeah. I think it would also
Yeah.
help me down here in New York City, right? I could be like, yo, this guy introduced a resolution right down in New York City. I could talk to all the city council members, be like, do you want to be the person to introduce the resolution, because it's kind of cool? So, even if it's not passing, I could say, look, we're still coordinating this and you can be a part of this. So we can encourage this to
I'll
happen in all the city councils.
when I do, I'll just say, we want the government just to follow the law and the Constitution. Yeah, that would be my main argument.
And tell them you're working with us. Tell them that this is a project that's going to be getting national attention. If they want to be the guy, right? Yeah, to say that they shut down this Assange thing, go ahead. We're going to record that, right? I'm not saying that they may have their reasons. They're allowed to disagree, but we're also allowed to make a national push for this, and also highlight people that decided to say I don't want to protect whistleblowers and people that are revealing, right? Go ahead, do that. Go ahead. We'll document that as well.
Absolutely.
All right, my brother. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the stream
Thank
right
you,
now.
DJ.
Okay.